Okay, second grade. Week two's class read aloud is another nonfiction text that goes along with our Texas Studies Weekly for this week. It's going to specifically be about banks. So, as you can recall, nonfiction texts, these are a little harder to AR test on because it's straight facts. You have to listen for facts within the book, and those are some of the questions you're going to be asked. As I read through this book this week, I'm going to kind of stress what some of those questions may be on your AR test for this week to kind of help you out a little bit. So be listening carefully. Okay. Also, as we go through this book, we'll be taking a look at some of the text features or text clues that are in the book to kind of help you with greater understanding as you read the nonfiction text. Okay. So, this book is called What Do Banks Do? And it's written by Roberta Basel and it is published by Capstone Press. What do banks do? And you heard a little bit about this if you've already done the newspaper. If not, it'll go hand in hand and it should match what we've heard. What do banks do? Okay, you'll see when you open the pages of this book that this one again has a table of contents. Keeping in mind why the table of contents is there, it's going to direct you to what each one of the chapters in the book is about. Chapter 1, Going to the Bank. Now again, as we take a look at this, it's got a picture to go along with what we're about to read. It's got a bold heading or title of the chapter so that you know what this page is going to be about. And then we've got little fun facts down here in the boxes too. Now I'll tell you this, some of the questions from the hour quiz do come from these little fun fact boxes. So listen and pay careful attention. Going to the bank. The Smiths are going to the bank. Miss Smith needs money to buy a car. Evan wants to put cash in his savings account. Tess has a piggy bank full of coins and should like dollar bills instead. A bank is a business that does all of these things. Banks help people take care of their money. Fun fact, Pennsylvania Bank was the first bank in the United States. It opened in 1780. So I'll come in so you can take a look at the writing on that page. Those are all the different things that we can do. Well, there are many things we can do when we go to a bank. Those are just some of the things. Excuse me. Keeping money safe. Banks keep money safe. They have vaults with heavy doors and strong locks. Vaults also have boxes where customers can keep valuable things. Okay, so we'll take a look at this page first. This is a picture of a vault. This is going to be one that's going to be important for you to remember. Okay, a vault is at a bank to help keep your money safe. So that's where the money is going to be kept in the bank. It's locked up. Not anyone can just go up in there, and it keeps the money safe. At the bank, people deposit or put money in accounts. An account is a record of your balance. You can put in and take out money when you need to. Okay, so you can see here the family, they're working on their slips for whatever they're going to do with their money. To deposit is to put money into your account. Okay, and we heard that the little boy had some money that he wanted to put in for a savings, so I'm sure that mom's helping him fill out a deposit slip there. Checking accounts. Miss Smith puts money in a checking account so she can use it later. She writes checks at stores to pay for things. Then the bank gives the stores money from Miss Smith's account. Customers get checks from the bank. Miss Smith orders blue checks. Fun fact, many banks also offer debit cards. Debit cards are small plastic cards that work just like checks. And we talked about this when I covered the newspaper because the newspaper actually talked about credit cards, which credit cards you use to borrow money. But I pointed out that debit cards are what a lot of you may see your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, older brothers or sisters use, and those work just like a check. They take money straight out of your account. You're not borrowing any money. You don't have to pay any interest on them. It's your money that you've already earned and is already in your account and you're using. So that's going to be key for you to remember about debit cards. They work just like checks. Okay. And you can see Miss Smith here looking through a book trying to decide which checks that she wants to purchase. A lot of times we don't use checks as much as we used to use checks because of the debit cards. So you might not really even very often see someone writing a check because they just don't get used as much now as they used to before. Next chapter, savings accounts. Savings accounts are for keeping money for a long time. Evan is saving for college. He deposits cash today. Evan will take out or withdraw money when he needs to pay for college. Banks pay people to keep money in savings accounts. This extra money is called interest. Each month, the bank adds extra money to Evan's account. Now remember, we talked about that in the newspaper. When you put your money into a bank, the bank then can use your money, and because they're using your money, when you put it in a savings account, your savings account earns interest, which is the fee that they're paying you to borrow and use your money. Okay, so that extra money that is put in your savings account so that they can use the money is called interest. Another key thing that you're going to want to remember. Fun fact, little bits of money add up over time. If you deposit $2 a week, you will have over $100 at the end of the year. Next chapter. Where does my cash go? The cash you deposit isn't kept for just you. Banks keep a record of the amount you deposit and then use the cash. Other customers get the cash when they need money. You won't get back the same bills and coins you deposit. Tess exchanged her coins for bills. She got some of the cash Evan deposited. Okay, so you may recall that Evan just put money into his savings account. Remember, the savings account earns money, it earns interest, so that, for example, this young lady that comes in with her change and she wants to get bills, now the money that Evan just deposited into the bank can be used to exchange this little girl's coins for the bills. Now, it's her money and it's Evan's money, but the bank is using it, which is why the bank pays us interest for using our money out of our savings account to make these kind of transactions. Okay, loans. Miss Smith needs money to buy does anybody remember? Yes, she needs to buy a car. She doesn't have enough of her own money. The bank gives her a loan to buy the car. She will pay back the money a little at a time. Banks charge people for loans. Miss Smith pays a little extra money, also called interest, each month. So in this case, Miss Smith doesn't have enough money to just go out and pay cash for a car. So she's going to go to the bank and she's going to borrow money from the bank. Because she is now borrowing money from the bank to buy her car, she is now going to pay interest to the bank to use the bank's money. Okay? So a bank pays out interest to us when it uses our money, and we pay interest to the bank when we are borrowing and using the bank's money. Other bank services. Banks offer services to help their customers. People can cash checks or get money to spend in other countries. Some banks have machines for exchanging coins for paper money. Just like stores, banks work to earn money. People usually have to pay for bank services. And so you can see these people are in here making some sort of transaction. Any of the services that we use at a bank, we usually have to pay some sort of a fee. Electronic banking. Many banks offer electronic services that make banking easy. ATMs let people get cash from their accounts when the bank is closed. So, You may or may not have been with someone who goes to one of these ATM machines. They put their card in and they're able to take cash out that comes directly out of their account that they can get when a bank's closed. So another one that you need to keep in your mind, ATMs allow people to get money out of their accounts when the bank is closed. Online banking lets customers check their accounts using home computers. As times change, banks will continue to offer new electronic banking services. So you can see this couple here. They're working on a computer. She's on the phone. And you can do a lot of your banking from a computer at home or even on your phone. I do most of my banking on my smartphone that I use regularly. Sometimes I get on a computer to do it, but I most often do not go to the bank. I most of the time do my banking on some sort of a device. Amazing but true. The Young Americans Bank in Denver, Colorado is a bank just for kids. This bank teaches kids about money and banking. With an adult, kids can open checking and savings accounts through the mail. Kids from all over the world use this bank. So you can see this mom has gone in here with her son, and they're opening a bank account to help teach her son how to bank. And I'll tell you this, I bank at my credit union in Canton. And several years ago, I took all 3 of my personal kiddos in, and we opened up savings accounts for them. And they began that process of learning how to use a bank system, how to save money, how to write checks, all about deposits and withdrawals. And so that is definitely a good practice, a good thing to do, even as a kid. Okay, so this next page is a hands-on type activity that you can do at home with your family if you choose regarding a savings account. Your parents can be the bankers. You can be the one doing the banking. And this might be something that you might be interested in doing. So I'll just hold there. You can pause it and read through that if that's something that interests you. Here again, this book has another glossary. Remember, the glossary is kind of like a dictionary. It gives you a list in alphabetical order of some main words that are in the text and gives you the definition of those words. And then this is just a page. If you want to read more about banking, there's some books you can read or some internet sites that you can visit to learn more about banking and what banks do. And then here's the index again. If you are looking for something specific, you can turn to the index. It tells you exactly what page to go to. Okay, so that is your class read aloud for this week. Your writing prompt goes along the lines of this. You are going to be writing about what you would do if you had $100 and explaining why you would do whatever it is that you would do with that $100. If you have any questions about any of this, be sure and ask.